morning. Welcome to another episode of Liz Explains Movies, a cinematic adventure brought to you by Boredom and Dialysis, not necessarily in that order. My name is Liz, and I explain a movie without giving away any spoilers. And it's not a movie that's out in the theaters. It's a movie that is a long time ago released and forever. It's just a classic movie that people love and I loved a lot, and I'm going to talk about it. And maybe if you haven't seen it, you should go see it because it's incredibly good and worth seeing. So, and I'm doing this while I do my dialysis because I was so bored doing this that I need something to do. Right now I'm putting some tape on this thing. So, the movie we have chosen to watch today is called Tootsie. It's a movie that came out in about 1982. It was the first movie I ever saw with a boy. In high school, I was a junior in high school when it came out. I saw it with a boy. I do not remember his name, but I was at boarding school, and so I was a boarder, and this guy was a day student, as most of the people that the boarders dated were. And it was very hard for the boarders and the day students to date, because there were 300 guy boarders across the lake, and then there were 98 girls. And then the rest, all the students were all day students. But it was hard for them to date us because we had this massively strict curfew where we had to be back by 11 or midnight or whatever it was. And if we weren't, we could get kicked out of school. I mean, disaster would strike, So they had to get us back no matter what. And so who wants to deal with that, I don't know. So anyway, I don't remember. I really don't remember. I remember sort of what he looked like. But anyway, we went to see Tootsie, and I really loved it. My company, my clinic, sends me new supplies in the mail. And I've always loved these blue gloves. And this time they sent me weird white ones. It's not fun. It's not cool, man. Whatever. Here they are. Anyway, now I have to make some Band-Aids. And that means moving this. Uh-oh. Sorry. Move this thing right here. I'll put you back in a minute. All right. So Tootsie. It came out in 1982. It starred Jessica Lange and Dustin Hoffman. I think it was directed by Sidney Pollack, who also was in it. He had a brief part in it. And he was hysterical. He's normally a director, not an actor, but he was hysterical in this part. And who else was in it? Dabney Coleman was in it. Terry Garr, very gifted comedic actress, was in it. But probably the best role in the whole thing was the guy who played Dustin Hoffman's roommate, Jeff, who was played by none other than Bill Murray. Who doesn't love Bill Murray, right? Hilarious. So, and his thing, he was so funny, he practically stole the movie, but he also wasn't even credited. I mean, I don't even know why he was in it, but he was, and it was so good. And he was so funny in it. Unbelievable. So anyway, Tootsie is the story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's enough. Sorry, I have to hit this. Air is the enemy of dialysis. In case you didn't know that. I have to hit this thing sometime and get the air. Okay. So where was I? Oh, well anyway. So Michael Dorsey, played by Dustin Hoffman, is an actor. And he's a struggling actor in New York. And he is doing everything. He's waiting tables. And he is, hustling out there. And he's teaching acting. And he's auditioning for parts. And they do this montage in the beginning. where he's just doing all this acting stuff. And the directors are kind of like not so happy with him because he keeps asking too many questions instead of just reading the lines and, you know, all this stuff. For example, he was in a play where Tolstoy was dying, and he was just auditioning for this play. Tolstoy was dying, and then Tolstoy stands up and makes a speech right before he dies, and Dustin Hoffman, the actor, said, you know, Michael Dorsey, the actor, he says, "Why would he stand up when he's dying? It doesn't make any sense." Like, and they're like, just read it, you know. He's a lot of trouble. He's a lot of trouble. He's kind of a pain. His dream in life is to produce his roommate's play, and his roommate is played by Bill Murray. His dream in life is to produce his roommate's play about a couple who returns to the Love Canal, which is like this nuclear waste accident that happened, the Love Canal, and it was in upstate New York, and they return. It's the stupidest idea for a play, but you know, Michael Dorsey thinks this play is brilliant and it's going to put him over the top, and he wants to produce it, but he needs $8,000, which, you know, this movie was made in 1982, so he needs $8,000 to produce Jeff's play, and he's going to star in it, right? And that's going to be his big break, he thinks. I have to make these Band-Aids. We make our own Band-Aids. I don't know why. Just they work out better. I do what they tell me. So anyway, so he is constantly working. He has a lot of friends. He has a lot of friends. Terry Garr is one of his friends. She's also a working actress. She's studying and trying to be an actress, and she's got a bunch of customer service jobs or whatever. And she's doing all this, and he's a waiter, and he comes over. She calls him and she said, "Look, I need help. I'm auditioning for this role tomorrow, and I don't know what to do." And he's her acting teacher, and you got to come over and help me get through it, or I'm never going to get the part. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Okay, right after work, waiting tables at this restaurant. I will come after work, and I'll come to your apartment, and I'll help you figure out the audition." Okay, so he goes to her house, and she's going to figure out the audition to help her, so she'll maybe get the part on this. It's an audition to be a hospital administrator on a soap opera. Okay, so he comes over, and he's going to help her learn how to do the audition and stuff, and she's supposed to be, like, kind of angry, but, like, not mad, but just kind of, you know, like, sort of a tough person. She's kind of tough. And so he's trying to tell her, you know, sorry, I got to put these Band-Aids on this thing. He's trying to tell her, you know, show the anger, but don't be angry. He's like giving her all these acting tips. Sorry. So she's trying, okay, I got it. Anyway, so then she's decided she needs to get in touch with her anger to do this, and she has to get enraged. And so she finally gets it when she's like working on this thing with him. You know, he's like helping her figure out how to audition for this, and they're working, and she finally gets it. I got it. I think I can. I'm excited. I know I'm going to get this part. And then she says, wait, he's about to leave, go back home and go to bed. And she says, wait, how am I going to get enraged tomorrow? And he's like, just do it. And no, but I can't do it on my own. I can't do it the way you want me to do it. And, you know, wasn't able to do this without you. Why don't you come with me to my audition? How am I going to, you know? He goes, I will pick you up tomorrow, right before the audition, pick you up, and on the way there, I'll enrage you. And then, you know, we'll see how it goes. So he goes to the audition with her the next day. So she's all going to be enraged or whatever. So he's going to try and help her out by going to the audition with her the next day. And he does that. And so he picks her up, and she's got this weird glasses on and stuff, and this is his friend. And she tries out, for the part, and they won't even let her read. They won't even let her read. They said she's too young, she's too pretty or something. And she is furious. She's like, I am so out of here. And he goes, wait, I know an actor on this soap. I'm going to talk to him and get you an audition there. So he goes to the front desk of the, wherever the thing takes place with the auditions. Hold on a minute. He goes to the front desk. Saline flushes. Syringes. Okay. Oh, here's one of these too. He goes to the front desk and he says, hey, I know, I think this guy's name was Terry Nichols. Not the guy who blew up Oklahoma. Anyway, I know this guy. Is he in right now? I want to talk to him. I'm going to get my friend an actual audition on this thing. And the lady at the desk says, Mr. Nichols is not working at this soap right now because he is rehearsing Iceman Cometh on Broadway. And he's like, what? And then she repeats it, and he says, that was supposed to be my part. My agent was going to put me up for that part. That was going to be my part. Why is he doing it? And she goes, I don't know, but that's where he is. You know? I have to do Vina for today. Hold on a minute. I have to, where is it? Where's that box? One second. Oh, here it is. Okay. She says, he's not here. He's doing whatever on Broadway. Well, he just leaves Terry Garr, and he's really mad now because he was supposed to be able to do that part. Okay, Iceman Cometh on Broadway, and his agent didn't put him up for it, and he's furious. So he runs to his agent's office, who is played by Sidney Pollack, right? He runs over to his office. He bursts in there. The guy's on the phone with an important meeting, you know, on the West Coast. He's on the phone. And he's like, Michael, you just can't just barge in here. And he goes, why is Terry Nichols been hired to ruin Iceman Cometh? What are you talking about? He says, well, you know, you told me you were going to put me up for that part. And you didn't. And, you know, that was supposed to be my part, George. He's talking to his agent. That was supposed to be my part. Well, I didn't put you up with it because you're too difficult to work with. You're too difficult to work with. I can't put you up for anything because you argue with everyone. I told you to get some therapy. You argue with everyone, Michael. I can't even put you up for a commercial where you play a tomato because you insist on sitting down, or you wouldn't sit down. And he says, I wouldn't sit down because it's not logical. A tomato wouldn't sit down. It's a beefsteak tomato. It wouldn't sit down. Like, that's not logical. And he goes, you don't have logic, you're a tomato. So anyway, it just goes through this really funny scene where this agent guy is losing it, and he's like, look, no one will hire you for this job. No one is going to hire you. And they have this long, I have a link to that. Anyway, it's one of the funniest scenes in movies. And then, so they, hold on. Let's leave that over there. Okay. So they, he leaves and he goes, okay, you think that I'm a terrible actor and I'm never going to get hired and I need therapy and all this stuff. I'm going to show you. I'm going to raise $8,000 and I'm going to do Jeff's play, and I don't want to talk to you anymore about this, okay? It's, you know, I'm about to fire you as my agent. Okay. So he walks out of the guy's office and he said, no one will hire you. And he goes, want to bet? And the next scene you see, he is walking down the street, and he is a beautiful older lady, right? He's a beautiful older woman. She has, I mean, it's not in a campy, sort of draggy way. He looks very, very convincing, like an older woman. A sophisticated, she has these glasses and this wig and this beautiful blouse and this pants, and he's walking, and he's just walking down the street in New York, and he looks sophisticated and smart and whatever. And he goes in to audition on a soap opera. The part that his friend Terry Garr did not get, right? And he goes to audition on the soap opera. He's playing a woman. Now, the part is for a woman hospital administrator. And he is a man, but he's dressed as a woman. And he's like, oh, they won't hire me? I'll show you what kind of an actor I am. This is the best acting challenge there is. I'm going to go as a woman and get this soap part. And then it'll pay me enough money to raise the money to do Jeff's play about the return to the Love Canal. All right. So he goes to the audition. They're very impressed. They're very impressed. The next thing you know, his agent George is having lunch at the Russian tea room where George hangs out. It's his normal everyday lunch thing. He walks in and says hi to everyone. I got my normal table. He's sitting down like a big shot. All of a sudden, Dorothy Michaels, well, Michael Dorsey, but who's now named Dorothy Michaels, she walks in and sits in his booth in the Russian tea room. And he's like, what? You can't. And he doesn't recognize her. And he goes, you can't just, I'm sorry, I can't. And then he bangs her under the table, and he says, it's me, Michael Dorsey, your favorite client. Remember you got me a job as a tomato? Sidney Pollack's face is like, anyway. So, yeah. And that's where the movie starts. And he said, I begged you to get therapy. I begged you to get therapy. And he said, look around. Nobody thinks this is weird. I look convincing, okay? I just got a soap, George. They just hired me to be the new hospital administrator on The Sun Also Sets, or whatever the hell this soap name is. I'm the new hospital administrator. I just got hired. You think I can't act? Now, I need another $1,000 because I can't just wear this every day. I need some women's clothes, and I need a couple handbags and stuff. And so I got to pull this off, And he's like, wow. Like, he's just stunned, the agent, who just told him he would never get hired. Want to bet? Want to bet? So he did. He got hired. And that's where the movie kind of goes. And so he starts working on this soap opera, and all kinds of hilarity ensues, and he's meeting people. He meets Jessica Lange. She plays a nurse. So many complications. It's hysterically funny. It just goes on and on. He has to keep living this lie. It's the best movie. I swear. It is I don't know what Oscars it won, but it's called Tootsie. And it was one of the best movies. It's one of my favorite movies. And I hope that you like it. And I hope that you go and watch it. I think you can get it on Amazon Prime, different places. There's a link. I'm going to do the link below where it shows like a little preview of it. And that scene when he argues with his agent about the tomato, that's hysterical. And it just gives you a little glimpse into what kind of movie this is. Oops. I gotta turn this down. One thing. It's gonna beep again. There we go. All right. Well, let me know in the comments what kind of movies you want to see reviewed. And I hope that you like this. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the movie because those are spoilers, and I don't want to spoil the movie for you. I just want you to go see it. And do I get anything for this? No. Just the fun of someone else experience this hilarious movie, which I absolutely loved. And I hope if you enjoy this, you like and subscribe and send me suggestions of other movies. And okay. And I'll see you next time.